Hello, Spaces Unleashed. I'm Jason, aka Dad Guy.
And I'm Chris, aka Mummy Fave.
Every week on Saturday, we bring you stories about Bunsen and Beaker. We're going to play games, have fun. Somebody's going to win some prizes. And we'd love to hear your pet story. It's Spaces Unleashed. Hey, that was pretty good. We didn't even rehearse that, Chris.
No, it's because we're teachers and we can just go on the fly.
You get one shot at it, and if you fail, the kids make fun of you. That's right. So no greater feedback than teenagers laughing at you, by the way.
Exactly. That's why when I make my videos for school, like my announcement videos, it's going to be one and done. And if there's a mistake, you know what? The show must go on. I don't have time to edit them.
Do you have any jokes, Chris?
Yeah, I do.
What's your joke?
Do you want to hear a joke about potassium?
Sure.
Okay.
Was that worth it for the sound effect? I think it was worth it.
Of course it was worth it. Or are you kidding me?
So that K is the chemical symbol. Oh, nobody's laughing. It's like this out there.
Yeah.
That's how good that joke landed, Chris. That's how good that joke landed. Okay. All right. So
you need the sound effect for Wile E. Coyote as he's like down and then splat.
Oh yeah, like the falling sound. The falling sound. I got you. I don't have that on my soundboard though. I should put that on my soundboard. Well,
you could get that on there, and then you know what? I am just like Wile E. Coyote. I get right back up and get up again.
I think
you're never going to keep me down. Just like that song, Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba, right? Chumbawamba. Okay, so on to the dog stories from us before we open up the floor to everybody else to share their pet stories. What do we got on the week? Do you want me to start with the exciting news with TELUS World of Science or TELUS Spark?
Well, you've already started, so you might as well continue.
Right. So, very cool. Probably from a bunch of things. There was a journalist that was listening into one of our spaces, and they're like, "Whoa, who are these science dogs?" And then they realize, "Oh, wow, they're from Alberta, where I am." I got asked to be on the radio with a whole bunch of different stations, and got the word out about the podcast and Bunsen and Beaker to local media. And why that's cool is that allowed the TELUS Spark Center, which is the Space Science Center in Calgary, they asked us to bring Bunsen and Beaker for an evening of Bunsen and Beaker, I guess, the science dogs. And then I'm going to do my podcast live from, they have the stage at the Science Center called the Inspiration Stage. And I had to pitch a bunch of ideas to them, and it's going to be on February 10th. Very, very exciting. So we'll take as many pictures as we can, and the podcast, the live bits, I'll edit them and put that on whatever episode I decide to put that out on. Our patrons will get early access to it. So there you go, patrons. But it's very, very exciting, and I'm hoping their numbers, depending on the day, there could be over 100 people there. So that's very exciting, and the dogs love people. So I'm super excited to have all these people meet Bunsen and Beaker, which will be super cute.
Do you think there will be a meetup again with Flint, the robotic dog?
Yes. Yeah. Flint will be there. Is it Flint? Yeah, Flint.
It's Flint.
Yeah. Yes. Flint will be there for sure. Yeah. He is the Boston Dynamics robotic dog that Bunsen and Beaker I've already met. So he'll come traipsing through, and I think people will want to take photos with the two dogs and the robotic dog. So that's going to be really cool. Yes.
And Beaker will probably want to smell his butt again, just to confirm that he's not a dog.
Yes. Yeah. Beaker was a little bit weirded out by the robotic dog for sure. Okay, Chris, do you want to tell your story?
Oh, yeah, I have a couple. But I'll just tell one for right now. So as we know that Beaker has been taking her level 2 at Waggles, and one skill that you learn in level 2 is something called pause up. And we had to learn it very quickly last Monday because it was missed in a different lesson. So it's like, oh, let's learn pause up in 5 minutes. And Beaker did not quite get it in the class. She would do it on like a larger platform, but not a smaller platform. So we've been working on it at home. And so we have a stool that we bought when Bunsen was doing it. And so we put the stool out and we're like, okay, Beaker, pause up. And Bunsen, he was like, what? And he was alert and he ran over like the Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he just like paused up right on the stool, pushed her right out of the way. And he's like, this is me now. I'm doing pause up. Look at me. Look at me. But yeah, it was definitely a Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah moment. Maybe very similar to that. And I laughed and you laughed too, Jason, because it was really quite funny. And he really wants to do the tricks because we've been working with Beaker on the tricks and the training, and it's just a good refresher for him. But he just really is enjoying, I guess a trip down memory lane for these training lessons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then he just shoved Beaker out of the way to get the treats. Love it.
And he's big and his paws take up the whole stool.
Yeah, nobody else is fitting on there, that's for sure.
No, it's Bunsen time.
You know what I should have had on my soundboard is a Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah. That would have been really good, but I am not that organized.
Are you making a list? Are you making a list of all the sounds
yes.
you need?
Yeah,
Wile E.
I have
Coyote.
Okay.
Wile E. Coyote, Kool-Aid man.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to do your next story? You have two.
Well, I was just going to say that Beaker had a wonderful day today at Waggles. So she went to doggy daycare this morning for, again, just extra exposure to other dogs. And then I took Bunsen at noon for wagon play, and it was back to what it was previously. They were running together, they were playing together, there were no issues, so that was really, really awesome. Even when I came, I thought, oof, sometimes like I thought it was me, it's never really about me, but sometimes it is about me. So I was just like, I hope everything goes well. And it did. It was awesome. She ran and played and there was no issue. So that was just a real good highlight for me, that things are going wonderfully for her. And
I thought I got the Kool-Aid man, but I did not. So sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, and Bunsen had a great day. Of course, he loves running around, and what he loves the most is not the other dogs. He loves the people because they all give him really good butt scratches, and then he's like, "Oh, this is you now. You are going to be rubbing me," and then he'll go to the next person, and then the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and so he is just getting all of the love and all the rubs. Because he's such a cutie, but he's big. So
there's only one dog you can pet if it's Bunsen, and that's what's going on there.
Yeah, well, he does the burner lean, and everybody loves the burner lean. They're like, "Aw," and it is kind of cute.
Yeah, well, because he's smiley, like when he's happy, like he just looks happy, just like a great big happy lug, right? So
all the time, so happy.
You had to shoot a video for your school, and Bunsen was sitting there, and he's like, "I'm so happy." And then Beaker was like, Beaker had her Beaker face. She just looked super unimpressed the entire time.
The entire time. I'm like, "Hi, everyone. This is the announcements for February 1st to 4th. And I'd like you to meet my dogs, Bunsen and Beakers. This is Bunsen." And he's all like, ha, 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 so happy. And this is Beaker. And it's like RBF. Resting Beaker face, like not even a smile. And then after you were going to take them outside and she was like smiling and so happy. And I'm like, where is this face? Where is this face any other time? It's not on your face. So you have it, but you just have your RBF for everything else.
All right. Okay, Chris, are you ready to open up the floor to our guests who are here today?
Yeah, unless you had a story. I thought maybe you had a story.
No, it's good. No, you didn't hog anything.
Okay.
No, I talked about Tell Us, which is really exciting, and we'll have lots of more stories from that evening.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm excited because they have fancy adult drinks at the Science Center because it's after dark. No, I don't think I'll have an alcoholic one, but there's like ones with dry ice and things like that. That's exciting. Can't wait.
Yes. Jason, you don't drink alcohol.
I don't drink alcohol, but I'm excited for the fancy drink.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just excited for a drink with dry ice. So that's, to be honest with you, because it's hard. It's a whole big procedure for me to get dry ice for my school. Okay, so if you would like to be a speaker and share your pet story or ask a question, sometimes people have questions about the dogs. That's cool too. You can request the mic. I'm going to ask that we keep our stories wholesome, but that doesn't mean you can't share something that maybe it was a rough week with your animal. That's okay. I just mean no swearing. And also, I will double check to see who you are. If you were unknown to me, if you're an account that just popped in, and I don't know who you are, you may not get to the stage. I'll DM you to see what your question is. If you're shy, you can put your question underneath the pinned tweet above the link for the game. So if you don't want to speak, you can DM your question or DM your story. Or I guess like if you're on desktop, you can still do that too. It's the first tweet under our profile under the pinned tweet. Hey everybody, I thought I would just give you some ideas about how you could support the Science Podcast. Number one, you could support us on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/BunsonBurner. There's multiple tiers of support, and the lowest tier of support is not much more than a cup of coffee a month. The second way is you could check out our merch shop. We've worked really hard to partner with clothing companies that do a great job of providing vibrant colors and soft feels. We also have the Beaker Stuffy for sale. It's so cute. The third way you could support us is giving us great reviews on our podcast playing apps. Any kind of review helps. And if you can't find a review, share our podcast with people. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so here we go. Over to Kathy and then to Paula. All right, we've got Kathy Zerker to the stage.
Hi, you two. How you doing?
Good.
I am
So good, so great.
Thank you. Good. I have a story and then a quick question. So my story is that my husband and I have been doing yoga at home. Our yoga teacher sends us links to her videos, so we can stay safe but still do yoga. And this week we finally put together the fact that when we're both laying on the floor on mats, Ella, like during the beginning where you're supposed to just lay there and, breathe, etc., Ella comes over and she sniffs around our nose and mouth to make sure we're okay. And we have to tell her, we're fine, Ella, we're fine. And then she stands for a minute and then she goes and lays down. And it's not something we taught her, but now we realize every single time we lay flat, even if my husband's doing exercise on the floor, if he starts flat on his back, she's over there checking to make sure he's okay. I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, we were amazed by it.
Bunsen doesn't like it when I slip down a hill, like on slippery ice. He wants me not to do that. So I think he's worried I'm going to wreck myself. So he's very concerned about if people are moving way too quickly or weirdly. He's like, no, you need to stop. He tries to block you.
It's like summertime and it's like, hey, let's roll down the hill like we were kids. And Bunsen's like, nope, you're not going to do that.
Somebody could hurt themselves. Yeah, he's the policeman.
He is the hill fun police.
Well, I could see Ella doing the same thing because, like this morning, my husband has a bad shoulder. He moved wrong. And he went, oh! She came running over, and with that burner, worried look on her face. So it's got to be inbred to them because it's sure nothing that I taught her to do. And then my question is this. We're supposed to be going on a trip in like a few weeks. I don't know for sure that we're still going to go, but I'm having a hard time figuring out whether boarding Ella is going to be bad for her. And I don't know if you ever have to board your dogs, but Ella is so attached to human beings, not just us. It could be my sister, it could be anybody. And I just don't know about putting her at the kennel like at our vets or even the other kennels around here. There aren't people on duty 24/7, and I don't know what it's like on the weekends. And so strange as it sounds, I don't want to ruin her personality, if you know what I mean, by suddenly having her in a enclosure. It's not really a small kennel, with no people around her. So what do you do about Bunsen? Or maybe you haven't had to board him.
Well,
go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, my first suggestion is your sister nearby, and can she keep Ella while you're gone, or is there someone close to you that would be able to take her on?
Yeah, here's the thing. My sister works and she's gone long days, and Ella has not been alone in the house that length of time by herself because, COVID. And so I don't know. She eats 3 times a day. She goes out about 4 or 5 times a day. So my sister will definitely take our golden retriever because we had Angel when we worked. And so Angel is used to that. But yeah.
I have a couple suggestions. So, like we've boarded Bunsen. When we've had to go away for the weekend. If nobody can be there to take him out and feed him, like if it's only one day and you can find somebody, dogs are okay for one day to be in your house alone usually. Yeah. But if it's the weekend, we've boarded Bunsen for that long, and we've boarded Beaker for that long, and you can build up to it. Like a lot of those places will let you drop the dog off for half a day, a quarter of a day, even to see how they do. And that way they're acclimated to it. So if it's a rough go, like if they tell you, you would have to be, of course, like have some nice discourse with them and say, can you please watch what's going on while people are there, at least while people are there, and see how Ella does. And then you can, work up to longer. If it's just something that's going to come this weekend and you don't have time to do that, it's a little bit more of a gamble. But if you work up to that, dogs are really adaptable, and as long as it's a safe place, I'm sure Ella will be fine.
Yeah. And even if they don't have someone there 24/7, they'll have someone there during the day. And then if they leave in the afternoon, they put them in their kennels. And then when they come back, they let the dogs out, they exercise them, and then they put them to bed at night in the kennel. So is Ella crate trained?
She isn't crate trained, but the places around here have like small rooms. So it might be an 6 by 8, 8 by 10 room or something like that with glass door on the front. Okay. So it's not really a kennel. I'm in a crate.
Do they let them out to exercise, or are they just in that room the whole time? That would be not great.
Yeah, that would be not great. I need to call a couple of them and see. We had taken her to daycare at one place that was recommended by our trainer, and Ella hated it. Ella hated it.
Oh, no.
I mean, she didn't want anything to do with other dogs. She just wanted to cling to one person.
That sounds like Bunsen.
Day after day. I mean, we tried for 5 or 6 times, and they just said, she's just not into it.
Yeah.
So, those are great suggestions, though, and I like the idea of maybe we board her for a night, even though we're here, just to see how she does, and give it a try.
That's what I would suggest. Yep.
And then if you're feeding 3 times a day, that might be a lot of food. You might want to look over how much you're feeding her, but you can always get an automatic feeder.
We actually take what she's supposed to have for a day according to the vet and divide it by 3. So we measure it out each time because we want to keep her nice and lean.
Yeah, 100%. But they do have like auto feeders.
Great idea. That's a great idea. So like maybe at my sister's house. We could also try at my sister's house for a day and see how she does.
See how she does,
home. Yeah. Thank you both. You've been really helpful. And I'm glad to hear Bunsen does the same thing about sticking to the people.
He loves his people. Yep.
Yeah. And his personality hasn't changed. Like, he's not ruined.
No. If anything, he likes people more, right? Like when he broke his toe, he definitely didn't have a lot of socialization when he was a puppy, and he was wary, more leery of people for about a year and a half. I think he's way more warmed up to people now.
Okay, she's exuberant around people. I mean, quite the opposite. We need to calm her a little bit around people, but she wasn't at daycare. But I'm going to give that a try. You both gave me a couple of great suggestions. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You betcha. Thanks, Kathy. Okay, over to Paula.
Hi, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good,
so
Paula.
Good, Paula. I'd like to say thank you. Your card arrived with the Pooley Christmas tree. It looks like a Pooley Christmas tree puppy from you guys. It arrived. It took a sweet time to come to Canada, I can tell you, I think. But
I guess so. I've probably been better by dog sled, but it's
probably.
Wow. Yeah, I know, huh? Wow, that took a long time because I was wondering. I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if they got it. Well, things have been really slow, so, and plus we're in a blizzard right now. We got I bet you we got about 18 inches where we are, but Boston and the Cape got nailed. Places in Groton, which is kind of south of Connecticut, they got like 20 inches of snow. But it was a blizzard. It's been snowing all day here, so it's been high winds and kind of crazy. And the dogs were trying to go outside. You know how that is when you're doing a path and they're not really cooperating. And
well, I heard you got the nor'easter. That's
what
they are calling it in our media, the nor'easter.
Yep. And then I did a little cute video of Annie and Olive were outside today. So I was trying to get Annie to go off the deck, and she was turning around like, you want me to go out in this? So it's kind of funny. But anyway, and if I could, Kathy, if I could give you some suggestions. Too bad. I think you're in Canada, right? I would.
No. I'm in Minnesota.
That's right. You're in Minnesota, but you're still far. I'm in Connecticut. Man, I would dog sit for you in a gunshot. But my suggestion is, I can feel your anxiety about that because I've had dogs and I'm like the shoemaker. I could never have shoes for my kids because I never go on vacation because I could never find a pet sitter. So it's kind of that same analogy. But I would suggest going to call your vet, call your trainer, see if somebody knows of a good dog walker or a pet sitter that's viable and has a good reputation. There is an app called Nextdoor. It's like a neighborhood community app. And I think I got on it because our neighbors were like, oh, get on this thing. And if some people have questions and stuff, you can actually be in a neighborhood group. But call your vet, call somebody or somebody that knows, dog walking or pet sitting, or, ask around and see if, even call dog groomers and say, gee, do you know of somebody that's a reputable dog sitter, and interview them. And see, what they would do and how they would, and, make sure they're vaxxed if that, if that's a concern and stuff. And, and how Ella can do a meet and greet. I would meet and greet a lot of people before I would do a week sitting. And Jason and Chris would love this. I had a former client for 14 years. I dog sat 3 Bernese Mountain Dogs. So I know the breed well. And when you talk about Bunsen wanting to sit on you, try 3 of them. So at the same time. But anyway, but I just want to say we had a crazy week, and poor Rosie jumped off the bed and she did something. So she was gimping and she has a bad paw. So she's going next week with Olive at the same time to the vet. So we kind of had a screwy week, but other than that, that was it. The big gollywomper, as they used to have a meteorologist here named Hilton Catterley, and he used to say that we have a big gollywomper today. So that's my story. So have a good week.
Thanks for sharing, Paula. Kathy, did you have a follow-up question? I saw your hand up.
It was kind of by accident. Yes, I found a couple of people who do in-house dog sitting, and in the Twin Cities, they want $200 a day.
Oof.
Just so you know. But thank you. I'll keep trying through the vet and so forth. Great idea.
Yeah, just not Facebook Marketplace, maybe, or another.
Is that a thing for Americans, Chris? Probably.
I don't know. Do you have Facebook Marketplace? I got two Mountain Equipment Co-op backpacks for $30. Like they're regular over $100. So,
I also don't think I don't think they know what Mountain Equipment Co-op is either.
the most amazing store for mountain equipment ever.
I know. It's so good. Mech. I love Mech.
Yeah. So sorry you don't have these nice things.
They probably do. I don't know. You never know.
They probably have nicer things.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure.
Okay, maybe not Craigslist or Kijiji. If you probably have Craigslist and Kijiji, I wouldn't go on there for my house sitter.
Oh my goodness. All right, folks who are down listening, if you have a question about the dogs or if you would like to share a story, go ahead and request the mic. We'd love to hear your pet story. Your pet stories make the community here so great. Okay, so we've got Magnolia Maggie. Oh, you were in the running for winning Kahoot there for a while. So we have Magnolia Maggie, go ahead.
I love the drum roll. That's so fun. A couple of things. One, I wanted to say thank you. I last week sent you that little 15-second video of Maggie doing some tricks with her dad.
Oh, yeah.
And you retweeted it. And because you have 1 million followers, it has like 15,000 views. And we just...
Oh, sweet. Well, so cute.
Well, thank you. We think she's very cute, of course. But as a proud mama, I just thought that was really fun that all these people watched her little video. And so thank you for that. Because, of course, that never would have happened without Bunsen and Beaker or you and Mommy Fave. And I guess I also wanted to say that the reason we have that little clip of her, Maggie is not nearly as famous as Bunsen and Beaker are, but she is sort of locally famous because she has done some commercials and was picked to be in a movie, but that didn't get made because of COVID, and has done some other ad work for like Purina dog food. And that little clip is from her reel that they send out to the production companies so they can see what she can do and so they can see if they want to use her or not, which is just kind of our little fun side gig that we do here.
That is so cool.
Well, yeah.
That is way more famous than Bunsen and Beaker.
No.
We're a big deal on Twitter, but nobody knows who we are. It's weird.
Oh, I feel like everybody knows you, but maybe it's just in our dog circle of Twitter. But right. So Maggie's did a little commercial for our local power company, which was really a commercial for the Nest thermostat, which was real cute. And that was on here in Chicago. And she did one for Purell, which you guys, it kind of looked like a video you guys did because the commercial was a baby feeding Maggie Cheerios off of their high chair. And I seem to remember some video of your nephew with Beaker maybe doing something similar. Am I making
that was Raffy? That was Raffy, yeah. Right, Chris? Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Little Raffy. He likes to sit in his high chair, and then the dogs are right under his feet, both of them. And I give him Cheerios, and then it's like one Cheerio for Raffy, and then he sneaks giving Cheerios to the dogs because I say, please don't give the dogs Cheerios, and he's like, and then they get Cheerios because he listens about as well as Beaker sometimes.
Right. Well, so this commercial is exactly that. That's this baby sneaking Maggie Cheerios, and then the mom turns around and, oh my gosh, and then she's got to spray her Purell disinfectant spray all over the high chair because the dog has been licking the high chair. So it was real cute. And she's done a couple other ones. So I just kind of want to share that about Maggie. And then the last thing I was going to say was that earlier this week, we were practicing our down and stay, again, like Beaker was doing last week, because Maggie, we're hoping she has another commercial coming up in a week or two. And, but I was walking around my condo as I was having her stay on the floor. And I walked into the other room and I walked in the other room and I came back and I gave her a treat. And then I walked around some more and came back. And unfortunately for Maggie, she thought that I was playing her favorite game where I hide treats or I hide her dinner or I hide her favorite ball and then ask her to go find it, which is not what I was doing. So when I released her from her down and stay, she frantically got up and went running around the apartment looking for treats and food. And I felt so terrible because I had no way to explain to her that I had not actually been hiding treats or her food. And I felt really bad. So then I, of course, then had to go hide one just so she could find something and not be upset anymore. But that was our little funny story.
That's exciting. That's exciting news about your commercial. You'll have to tag us if something comes of it or anything like that. That's super exciting.
Well, thanks. I will let you know if it happens. I don't even know. They don't tell us ahead of time, like who it's for or anything like that. And if I could figure out, I've got a copy of one of the commercial with ComEd, our power company, but I don't know how to, I don't know how to get it from I'm not technically advanced enough to get it from my phone to where you guys could see it. Unfortunately, I don't think.
Oh, it's all good.
Anyway.
Well, we could talk about it when it happens on Spaces and just have some audio chat about it. That's cool.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks.
No problem. I'm muted. Have I been muted this whole time?
Yeah, that's why I was sending you the
oh my goodness
alert. The alert.
Oh, I've been muted. I've been reading this question the whole time, and I just realized I've been muted. Okay, so again, let's try again. Let's try this again. All right. There was a message that has come in through DM. And the message is as follows from Bird Like Sofa Tiger. My cat has long fur within her paw pads. I read that it's so she can walk atop the snow more easily. Does Bunsen have long fur within his paw pads? And if so, what is the purpose? Side note, your family is amazing. Aw, thank you. Well, Bunsen does have long fur in his paw pads. I think so. And it definitely protects his paw pads from the snow. Dogs that have been bred to be in really, really cold environment there's a couple things that they have structurally that keeps their feet warm. If you compare Bunsen's foot to a polar bear's foot is broad like a burner's foot. And very little of their pad, like the actual fleshy bit, touches the ice or the snow. It's very little of it touches the snow. The rest is fur. And if you look at the bottom of Bunsen's feet, it's not as fuzzy as a polar bear's foot, but he does have a lot of fur, and that's just to decrease the amount of times that his pads touch the ice. But more importantly, he has very thick pads, and dogs' feet have extra blood vessels that run down through their feet that basically keep their feet a lot warmer than a human foot. So the circulatory system also helps them out. And then they have, I don't know if I mentioned it, they have a very, very thick, dogs that have been bred to live in colder conditions. Their pad is super thick. So it's like a thick-soled heel. If you think of it like a human, you've got a thick boot with a thick heel, and then you've got an electric heating system down into your foot. So the Bunsen's feet do get cold. They do, right, Chris?
They do.
When it's wicked cold out, like bananas cold, like minus minus 35 and colder. Like he gets cold. Everything gets cold when it's that cold. But when it's like minus 10, minus 15, minus 20, minus 25, just normal winter temperatures, nothing. He unfazed, undeterred.
Exactly.
So other animals, I don't know if this cat with the long fur I don't know if cats are bred to, I don't know if you breed cats for the Arctic conditions, but if you look at a lynx, like a bobcat, their paws are like a burner's paws. Very little of their pad touches the ground. They're super fuzzy. And then again, they also have special blood vessel circulation to keep their paws warm. Hey, we did a little science lesson for this question, Chris.
I love it. And then you know what you didn't, when you trimmed Bunsen's feet, Jason made them look less Grinchy. So
yeah,
I don't mind the Grinch look on puppy paws, but some people do. And Jason, you were why were you wanting his paws to look crisp on the outer
I don't
edges?
know. I think I took a picture of their paws and then somebody commented like, those are Grinchy paws. And I was like,
Yeah, you're affected by that. I'm not.
I was like,
man,
somebody commented about Grinchy paws. I was like, so yeah.
Not
well,
even that's I'm undeterred with his paws.
Okay, so that's that's the question. I have a poll that I put up into the nest. Do you like the Kahoot game to start spaces? We're at 76% yep and 24% no. I think, and then some people did have trouble joining, and that's unfortunate. And I really apologize if you couldn't join the Kahoot game. Maybe we'll switch it up next week and try. There's another one you could use called Quizzes that we could try.
Yeah, Quizzes is really fun. And then you can set it up where there's a funny meme after every question.
Do you know how long it would take to make Bunsen and Beaker memes after every question?
No, they just are randomly generated. So
random memes.
Sometimes they're a little bit for when it was school. Like I'm like, oh my goodness, that happened.
Like inappropriate, because there's inappropriate memes. Oh, okay.
Kind of a little bit.
Do you know how many times when I'm teaching chemistry, I use the distracted boyfriend meme? You know, the one where the guy's looking at the girl and then the girlfriend is like really upset at him?
Yep.
That applies to so many concepts in chemistry. So many chemistry concepts. I don't know if it's inappropriate though. Anyways. All right, Kiki. Hello, Kiki. Kiki's coming up to the stage.
Hello, Kiki.
Oh my God.
It is Kiki. Hello, Kiki.
Okay. I came up to, well, I'm going to tell you about my pet, but my pet is not here with me in the United States. I'm going to tell you my story, but I want to talk about quizzes. And yes, you can make your own memes like Chris said. Chris knows everything, Jason. So that you know.
I know nothing.
Yes, he does. He knows the whole thing. And I have made memes, a meme set with my Bitmojis, actually, with selected Bitmojis. And no, Jason, don't put inappropriate emojis for the quizzes. There's no need to be humorous everywhere. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you about my pet. Well, pets, actually. My pets live in Greece with my aunts. And we have a pet parrot. He's an African gray. His name is.
You have a pet parrot? You had a pet parrot? What?
It's in Greece. I had it. That parrot is gonna outlive us all. You know, African grays.
Yeah,
they live to
I'm
be
just
like
so jealous.
200. I don't know. Like it's a crazy age. They live like forever. So I have had this parrot since I was 15, I think. It's not mine, but it's the family's pet, okay? I mean, I couldn't really bring it with me because I came in the United States in my 20s and I got married with my husband. So the pet stayed back with the family where it belongs.
You know, you can't put them in a suitcase, right?
No.
Like they're not carry-ons that way?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. So his name is Coco. Or Coco, whichever way, you know, you want to say the American way, it's Coco, I guess. But in Greek, we call him Coco. And he mimics voices. You know, African Greys are very special. and he mimics everybody's voice, and he's very, very naughty because he even mimics the animals that pass by. We have, in Greece, we have apartment buildings because, I live in Athens, and it's it's like living in Manhattan, right? But the buildings are not as tall, they're not skyscrapey, they're like shorter, they're like, multiple family, apartments. And we have balconies, and we put him out in the balcony when the weather is nice. And whenever a dog passes, he pretends to be a cat. This is a true story, guys. It's like, he cracks me up. He pretends to be a cat. So the dogs go bananas. And when a cat passes by and meows, he pretends to be a dog. So he creates a lot of havoc in the neighborhood. It's a true
Oh
story.
my
I
goodness.
promise. It's true. So he's very, very naughty. He sits out there in the balcony and he creates, say, you need to be there to see it.
So like he makes a sound like a dog,
Yes.
like he'll
Yes,
or
just like that.
yeah, or like
Yes,
that.
and he meows like a cat. It's insane.
I love that story.
It's a true story,
your
Chris. I promise you. It's a true
Cuckoo
story.
of chaos.
Yes. So it's a true story, and I'm sure, Jason, you're gonna think to do something with this story. Which is
I love parrots so much, Kiki. You have no idea. I love them so much.
I need to find some pictures, or I can ask my aunts to
Yeah.
send me some new ones. So we do have that, and we, it's the family pet, so we take him everywhere. I think we have left him with at the store. I think once we put him there because my mom wasn't able to go and take care of him. So we usually take him everywhere we go with his little cage. Like, he has traveled Greece, and he's not an emotional support animal. Um, he's and he's a wild animal, right? So he can scratch he tries to bite you, but he does care, and he does feel love. However, although he has been living in his cage, and every so often he's put outside his cage so he can they close my aunts close the door so he can just fly around, but they have clipped his every so often they have to clip the underneath his feathers so he doesn't fly away.
Yeah.
It's something, because he's kept as a pet. I know it's not, I don't think if we hadn't bought him.
Well, wouldn't he die? Like, if he got out, wouldn't he die? Can they survive?
I don't think
there?
he would survive. I honestly do not
Yeah.
think he would survive. But I don't know if it's allowed to have them still, because that was many, many years ago that we got him. And we also have turtles, Chris. We have turtles.
Oh my
Goodness.
Really? What kind?
No.
We had some small water turtles, and we have some land turtles, and we had one. Her name was Tiki, not Kiki, Tiki. And she grew up so big. But turtles also live to be forever. Like land turtles, they can live like 70 years or something. But she passed, and then they breed, and then we have like little tiny turtles. And they multiply. We give them away. Sometimes my aunt, because we do live in Athens, but there are some mountains by our house. Sometimes he goes up on the mountain and she finds some tiny turtles. She brings them home. Some of them don't make it, they're like hungry and things. And we have a nice house, and it has a nice garden. They like to be outside. We don't really keep them as actual pets inside, enclosed or anything. We just leave them outside in the garden, and they go and they feed in the garden and they stay in the garden. So it's like their natural. Let's say it's like a huge zoo. But yeah, that's my story with African Gray. I hope everybody's okay with me saying that we have an African gray. I know they are a wild species. I know people may have certain feelings about that, but we did get the bird when many years ago, and I promise you, we have taken care of Coco for really well. So he's a happy bird. So that was my story, and I have been meaning to come up and tell my story about the bird, and that is my funny story with the cat and the dog. A true story. Thank
I
you,
love
guys.
it. Yeah, and like there are some lists depending on where you live on what animals you can and cannot have. And some animals are grandfathered in because you might have had them when they were little and then they are unable to be released into the wild, or because they're an invasive species where you are. Like we have the red-eared sliders, turtles, but if we were in Florida, we wouldn't, because you can't release those into the wild. So it depends on, you would just have to check. And sometimes you have to register your animal.
You have to register a turtle?
No, not here, but other places you do. Or you take your turtle to the vet because they have an infection or something, and then then the vet might confiscate them, depending.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like your dog has an earache? Take your dog to the vet, and the vet's like,
No,
I'm sorry, we're keeping your dog.
No, it wouldn't be that.
I'd be like, what?
No, no, Jason, it's more of like what Kiki is saying. Like,
how come the sliders can't be in Florida, Chris? Do they
you
grow to
can't
the
release
size
them.
of boats?
You can't release them because they're invasive there.
Oh, they multiply like rabbits in Australia.
Well, like how Kiki was saying, that the turtles are they multiply.
You know what? It's turtles all the way down. That's the moral of the story.
But yeah, so just check your local laws about what animals you can and cannot have, and if you have to register them. Here it's fine. We can't sell turtles. You can give away turtles for free only. But you can sell the equipment they come in with. So you can go, okay, I want $200 for the tank. Yeah. So that's why I got the free turtles, Jason. They were free.
Yes, quote unquote free. Free. Yes. Do you remember when I caught the baby deer? We could have had a deer.
No, we could not have had a deer.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. I didn't mean to catch the baby deer, but Callum, we were out walking, and what fawns do is they lay down, and like their defense mechanism is to be quiet. They're just like, if I'm super quiet, nobody sees me, and they don't really have a smell because they're so new, I guess. I did a bunch of research on it. But Callan was a golden retriever, and she found it in 2 seconds and chased it out of the bush, and it was running around, and I had to grab it, and like I picked up the little thing. It was super cute, by the way.
It jumped right into your arms. You were like,
yeah, it was super cute. I didn't know what to do. I think that was before I had a cell phone. I don't even think I had a cell phone. So I was like, what do I do with this baby deer?
You got a hold of Callan and you left the deer where you.
Yeah, I left the deer.
Which is exactly what you should do.
Yeah, I was like, can I take it home? And I was like, that's a long way to walk with a baby deer. And then I was like, what are you gonna? Well, I show up and you're like, what do you have there? I was like, I got a baby deer. Oh my goodness, what a day!
But that did not happen. That did not happen because you did the right thing. You left the deer where you found the deer.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Back to Kathy. Go ahead.
I just wanted to thank Kiki, although it looks like she lost her connection, for telling the story about the African gray, because it brought back all the stories about my dad, who had an African gray parrot also. And Jinka was his name, and Jinka would talk in my dad's voice.
Yes, my parrot does that too. My grandpa passed away and he was still talking in his voice. It was the most wonderful and creepiest thing at the same time. It was like very bizarre. Very conflicting.
My goodness.
Yes.
Like your grandpa had passed away?
After he passed away, because he was very close with I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to make anybody sad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I was just like, that would be both wonderful and creepy.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. But imagine in the middle of the night, I think everybody was like,
oh my goodness, that'd be so.
Yeah.
Kiki, my dad's bird did the same thing after my dad passed, and he would call. They had a greyhound, and he would call the dog in my dad's voice and say, "Sweetheart, sweetheart, you want to go out?" And the dog would come charging in the room, and my dad wasn't even there. But this was even before he died. She would make up her own songs with words and music.
Yes, they actually do. They can compose songs. Oh my God, I cannot believe you're telling me all these things. That is so true.
Well,
Yes.
thank you so much for telling that story, because it just brought back all these wonderful times that we spent with my dad
I'm
the
so
African
glad.
Grey.
I'm so glad. Yes, and they're super, super special. They can mimic the radio. They can sing songs. They can talk in several people's voices and have like almost conversations in different people's voices. They're like these comedians that change their voices. And yes, what you're saying is absolutely true. They are amazing mimics of people's voices and sounds. Yes.
Jinka would make the sound of a truck backing up, the sounds, the beep, beep, beep. I didn't realize it was the bird doing it the first time we stayed with them. And I thought, what in the heck? How many trucks do they have outside at 6 a.m? And it was just the bird doing it. And then the other thing is, the bird would hear the conversation going on in the room and could tell we were about to leave and would say, "Okay, bye, be careful." So anyway, thank you so much, Kiki. That was wonderful.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. But then they forget. Like the voice doesn't always say it, which is
Yes.
Again, unfortunate. He can no longer mimic my grandfather because the voice just I don't know how long it lasted. We should have measured the time, but I think it was a week or two, and then that voice just disappeared because he wasn't hearing the voice anymore. But if we had a recording on my grandpa, he would be able to, if we played it again and again and again, he would learn it again. That's how it happens. They're mimics and they learn.
They're super smart.
Yeah. Very smart and very, very special animals. Yes.
I would so teach that parrot, if we got one, the periodic elements of the on the table song.
Jason, I'm feeling like we may have a African Grey in our future.
Well, we have to check the list. See if they're on this list.
That would be such a good addition to the clan of animals.
What a zoo we'd have. Okay. Oh, Paula, your hand's up, and then we'll go over to Max.
I'm sorry. Oh, I hit the wrong button here. I'll go fast. No, I was going to tell Kiki I loved your story too, because I sat 3 cats and a parrot. I think he was an Amazon parrot because he's green. And I don't know if that's but he's the size kind of an African Grey. But I was going to say they're incredible because she had 2 sons and one was named Sean. And the first time I went over to the house because I was there, doing a week sit, and I was feeding the cats, and they said they had this bird, and all of a sudden I hear this Sean, and I thought somebody was in the house, and it scared the living bejesus out of me. And but they are really super smart. But I am just thinking of your stories too, because it sounded like a human. And then I guess one of the boys liked to watch those cop car shows, those cop shows, and the bird would do a siren and would go woo woo woo. So, but they were really cool, and it was a lot of fun to take care of. So I just wanted to say that they're just great animals, but you have to will them because they do live a long time. Because I wanted a parrot I wanted a macaw so bad when I was in my 20s, but they're beautiful birds. But you can't cook with, I think, no stick pans or something, because you got to be careful with Teflon. But anyway, but that's my little 2 cents. But I loved it, Kiki. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Max, over to you. Do you have a question or a pet story?
I have a pet story. Hello. Yes. I'm not sure the angle of the talk, but it's a very. I work for National Geographic. I'm the wine specialist. I do tastings on board cruise ship of National Geographic, but I haven't been working for 2 years because of ships with COVID. You can imagine, haven't been working. But I remember I had a turtle called Tati, and I went to travel, and my parents killed her because they forgot to feed her. But then we found you call the skeleton or something, like the thing. And I have a thing with turtles. So I went to visit Galapagos. I was by chance with National Geographic. That's another cruise ship over there. It's called National Geographic Endeavor. So I told them, and they invited me to get on board to just do a little tasting there with the crew. And I spent like one day with them. And I have a lot of friends there in Isabela Island and in Santa Cruz, in Galapagos, in Ecuador. And finally, I could see, I don't know if you have been in Galapagos, but it's an amazing place because they collect the turtles from the beach to protect them. So they have a nursery of turtles that's connected to Darwin's Foundation and everything. And you can see turtles like for 1 centimeter up to 2 meters of high in the whole island because they walk freely in the island. They cannot put fences. So, but the most amazing and impact thing was to see this nursery of turtles with the different sizes. So I have a thing with turtles. So we're doing a lot of projects to rescue coffee and cacao in Galapagos. And we're connecting this with NFT artists locally. We're doing a whole thing with Galapagos. I'm in Austin now. I'm being a digital nomad. So Austin is creating a lot of things around metaverse. You have Meta. They just announced a building, and turtles is one of my aims: chocolate, cacao, and wine. That's what I do in life. Bloomberg published my work 2 years ago, just before pandemic. And I love your title, Pet Chat. That's it. I still miss my turtle Tati. That's it.
I'm sorry that happened to your turtle. What an amazing experience. Yeah, but what an amazing experience to go to the Galapagos. It's definitely on many people's bucket list. My sister Marina, she on her honeymoon went to the Galapagos, and everybody in our family was super jealous. She got to see all the turtles and the sea iguanas and the big birds that crash. Boobies. The blue-footed boobies. That's right. That plays good in high school, by the way, Chris. When you tell the kids they're going to see a bunch of boobies, and then it's the blue-footed boobies, because then they're really disappointed. Some of them. Anyways,
it's the same thing as the bird that's called a tit.
Lowbrow humor in high school and middle school works great. I'll tell you. You shouldn't pronounce the planet Uranus, but it's Uranus. But I tell you, that one also plays every year. What a laugh, I tell you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing, Max. I really appreciate that. Does anybody else have a pet story to share or a question? If not, we'll round out the space. This was great tonight.
Well, I just wanted to share about the oldest tortoise in the world. His name is Jonathan. He's a giant tortoise, and he lives on the remote island of St. Helena, and he turns 190 this year.
He's 190 years old.
Yes. There's photographic evidence. He was photographed in 1886, and he was an adult then. And then the picture today, in 2022, was taken over 136 years apart. So he's 190 this year, and he's a giant Seychelles tortoise, and he arrived at St. Helena by ship. And he was a gift to St. Helena from British administrator Sir William Grey Wilson, who later became the island's governor in 1887. So Jonathan the turtle is.
I love it. He's the best.
How did Pet Chat turn into Turtle Chat, Chris? How did you swing this?
It wasn't me.
Sorry, ahead, Kiki. I didn't mean to talk over you. Go ahead.
I tried to make a joke. You always tell me to crack a joke, and I said I'm waiting for a pun, and I wanted to say that this turtle is the Betty White of turtles because it's a famous turtle.
Yes.
You see?
Hey, Kiki, I got a joke for you. I have a joke.
What's the joke?
All right, you ready for this? This is a great one. What do you call a turtle chef? A slow cooker. How do turtles celebrate their birthday?
They celebrate.
They celebrate.
They celebrate.
How does a turtle feel after they're electrocuted?
Not very good.
Shell shocked. I can keep going. But I won't. We're gonna have people to report this space for abuse. Okay, so
no, just don't kill any more turtles.
Go
That's
ahead,
great.
Max was going to say something, I thought.
No, just keep going. I like turtles. Keep going.
I like turtles
too.
All right. Well, this has been a great chat. I don't know. I don't think we have any more requests, and there's no more DMs that have come in. No, I'm just double checking here. So our main space, our science space is on Tuesday. I don't know if Francisca's still in the... Oh, she is. Francisca Tell is going to be our guest next Tuesday. Francisca. Yes, we're very excited. Normally Francisca is in a time zone that doesn't work for spaces, but she's in Canada. So it works for that. Francisca studies microscopic organisms in the cold seas and oceans of the world. So we'll get to chat with her about that and her research. So that's exciting for Tuesday next week. Thank you very much for everybody who joined. 1 second here. I was supposed to do this.
I'm actually really excited about that because like phytoplankton and all that stuff is so super important to the ecosystem. So I'm just really excited about hearing more about that.
There we go. I got our play out music.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super excited for that too. Everybody who joined tonight for this wholesome chat, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for coming up to the stage. The community is what makes Spaces so great. Thank you to the other Spaces hosts I see in the audience. I do tweet about them occasionally. I see Rev talks about movie productions. He is sometimes tag teams with Indra in the audience, who does this amazing positivity space. I see Dan in the audience. Dan does amazing spaces about music. My good friend Michael, we have never met, but Michael saved my bacon with audio. Thank you so much, Michael. We'll see everybody on Tuesday next week for our science chat. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Any last words, Chris?
No, I'm really grateful for this opportunity to come together and share our stories and build community.
For science, empathy, and cuteness. Take care, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, you had to put that in, didn't you? You had to put that in. How did this space turn out to be just about turtles?
I like turtles.
Oh my
It
goodness!
didn't. It wasn't just.
We had
turtles.
Okay, all right. Take care.
Turtles and birds.
Turtles and birds. Turtles and birds. Oh my goodness.
And dogs.
And
dogs. All the pets.
Okay.